Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is May 31st, 2023, and we're getting into the volume 104 of me answering your immigration related questions. As you can see, I have all your comments pulled up in front of me. As always, I'm going to mention I am not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the very first comment question from Nadine Parkinson. I'm a 37-old lady in Florida, but I don't have any green card. My mother is a green card holder and my stepfather, I'm assuming stepfather, is a citizen. My stepfather married to my mother, I guess, when I was 16 years old, so my mother filed I-130 for me. Will I get my work permit or my stepfather? And if one of my parents filed I-130 for me, will I be safe in Florida? And then Nadine says, good morning. Nadine, thank you very much for your comment, for your question. So if I understand correctly from your comment, your mother already filed I-130 petition for you. So if you are, you're obviously over 21, and since your mother is petitioning for you, there would be, let's see, which category? You're going to be unmarried sons and daughters 21 years of age or older of permanent residence. So I'm assuming you are in this F2B category, but again, correct me if I'm wrong. So if that petition was already filed, let's take a look approximately how long they take as of right now, as of what we can tell right now from the visa bulletin. We're going to take a look at the graph A, final action, because these are the these dates right here. They show the full length basically of the I-130 case from the date of filing to, past the documentary qualification and pretty much the availability of the immigrant visa. So if we're going to look at the F2B, we see that right now the priority dates that are becoming current in May, June 2023 are the ones that were filed back in September 2015, which is roughly 8 years. 8 years of wait. So if the petition I-130 was already filed, then you really just staying on top of it, making sure that if you're already documentarily qualified, that's great, then it's just waiting. If you're not documentarily qualified yet, if it has been filed recently, then make sure to check out the video that I have on this channel. It's called Documentarily Qualified. What does it mean? So that you can prepare for the process of becoming documentarily qualified as much as possible. Get ready with all the documents and everything. But yes, F2B looks like it's roughly 8 years. Now, there's another option that I'm suspecting from your comment is that it has not been filed yet, the I-130, and either your stepdad or your mom can file the petition. There isn't really that much in wait time. The difference between F1 and F2B, and that would be F1 if your stepdad files this petition. So really it doesn't matter. So if it has been already filed, that's great. If it hasn't been filed, then I would recommend filing it as soon as possible so that you can start that process, because it's still a pretty long time to wait. So let me know if you have any follow-up questions, and if you do want to clarify whether it was filed already or not, it would be helpful for me to understand in general what is happening. All right, let's move on to the next question from Kola Ebejide. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Hi, my name is Mr. Pastor. I filed for son as a U.S. resident. USCIS had approved it. Perfect. I was told that I didn't indicate that my son is in abroad. I see. It led me to file I-824. Okay. I haven't received a letter or email from NVC. What category will my application be? Okay, so it will depend. Let's see. So you are filing for your son as a U.S. resident. So you are a U.S. resident. So there's only two options, really. It's either going to be F2A category or F2B category, which will depend on whether your son is over 21 or under 21. If your son is under 21, it's going to be F2A category, which processes a little bit faster, like 5 years faster. I would say a little bit. It's not really a little bit, quite a lot faster. And if it's F2B, if your son is over 21, then it's going to be 8 years as of right now. But keep in mind, I keep saying as of right now because these, the backlog, it keeps accumulating. Unfortunately, every year it keeps growing. So these dates, two, 3 years down the road, the backlog is gonna grow. That's why when I say these are rough estimates, they're very, very rough estimates. But congratulations on being approved by USCIS. I'm thinking the only reason why you haven't received anything from NVC just yet is because you're still waiting, closer to the availability of the immigrant visa before you actually get that welcome letter from the NVC where you can log into the portal. And I would recommend you, as well as Nadine, to check out the video that I've made on this channel. It's called Documentarily Qualified. What does it mean? And in that video, I show a real NVC portal that was already documentarily qualified, and you can see all of the fees, you can see all of the documents, you can see all the applications that you need to submit in order to become documentarily qualified. So as much as you can prepare before the NVC gives you full access to the portal, the faster you can complete it, the faster you can become documentarily qualified, and then from then on, you're just waiting for, to have your priority date become current. Alrighty, let's move on to the next question from Lambo. Lambo, thank you very much for another comment. I appreciate it. First of all, thanks for your time and effort. Thank you. I appreciate your watching. Secondly, how long does it take to get citizenship from entering US as a refugee? Great question, Lambo. Thank you very much for asking. So, when you enter as a refugee, right? It's 1 year. 1 year of maintaining that approved refugee status in the United States of America, and you can file the application for permanent resident, for the adjustment of status. So once you get your green card, it takes maybe roughly the whole process of applying green card. In fact, we can take a look and see how long it takes, because why not? So we're gonna go to tools, we're gonna go to case status online. Hopefully it doesn't take forever to load. Sometimes it does forever. There we go, good. Processing times, visit page. Let's see, so I-485, application to register permanent residence or adjust status, that's what we need. From category, employment-based, nope. Family-based, nope. Under the Haitian refugee, nope. Based on grant of asylum, more than 1 year. Based on refugee admission, more than 1 year. There you go, this is what we need. Now, we'll just select all field offices, just to be on the safe side. So you see roughly 2 years. So let's say you've been, for 1 year, you have been, a refugee, then you apply for asylum. I wouldn't say it's going to take that long. This is kind of, 80% of the cases. Most of the times it's faster than that, at least from what, personally, the cases that I've been dealing with. But even if it takes the whole 2 years, so 1 year as a refugee, apply for, adjustment of status, roughly 2 years, and then you get your, you become a permanent resident. And then you are walking around for 5 years as a permanent resident before you can apply for naturalization. And then of course the whole naturalization process can take up to about roughly a year and a half before the interview is scheduled, before you get your naturalization ceremony, all that good stuff. So it will take some time. I would say total you're looking probably at about, it's 6 years. 6 years. So 1 year as a refugee, 5 years as a permanent resident, and then naturalization, 6 years. But on top of the 6 years, all the processing, all the bureaucracy with all the stuff, add another 3-4 years. So roughly you're looking at like 8 years to 10 years potentially. So it's a long process. It's a long process, but on the plus side, while you're waiting, and I'm saying it personally because I'm personally familiar with this, you are in the country, you have legal right to work, and it's much easier than a lot of other situations where you're kind of in the air, you don't know what's going to happen. All right, let's move on to the next question from Farida Kathawala. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Okay, thank you so much. I forgot the categories. Is IR1 and priority date is July 2020, documentarily qualified date May 12, 2023. All right, Farida. So IR, immediate relative category, you're not dealing with the backlog, so that's great. That's really good news. And you're already documentarily qualified, so your immigrant visa is already available. It's already ready for you just to go and take it during the interview. So the only thing that you're waiting for is that interview. Now, I have seen where the interview was scheduled within 3 months after becoming documentarily qualified. I have seen 6 months. I have seen the longest in like 9 months, 10 months. After becoming documentarily qualified. It is heavily depending on where the US Embassy is. If you want, I would give them a couple months If you don't get anything from them, you can actually contact the US Embassy in the country where the beneficiary is and ask them if they can give you the information on when the interview is going to be scheduled. They might say, no, we can't give you that information. Or they might say, hey, yes, we can take a look. And sometimes you get, understanding, nice people on the phone, and they can take a look and let you know. But you're at the very last stage, just getting that interview notice, doing the medical examination, and then going for the interview and getting that immigrant visa. Just make sure to read the email once you get it from NVC. Again, it's going to be from NVC with your interview details. Make sure to read it very carefully, because they will give you a list of documents in that email that you will have to bring for an interview. And it's very, very important to make sure that everything they requested you bring with you. There's some weird stuff on it, like for example tax transcripts. You'll have to get that. Maybe it's worth getting them now so they're prepared. You can get them on irs.gov, not tax returns, tax transcripts. And also the birth certificate. I don't know, in your case you probably won't have to because it's IR1, but in IR5, for example, they are asking a birth certificate of the petitioner to bring with the beneficiary has to bring the birth certificate of the petitioner. It's a little bit weird because, if they live in different countries, obviously they most likely live in different countries. That's why they're doing the family reunification. So the petitioner actually has to mail the birth certificate to the beneficiary. It's weird, but you got to do what they request so that everything goes smooth. So just be prepared for stuff like this and read those emails carefully. Alrighty, let's move on to the next one from Maureen Marshall. Good night. I'm watching your video and it really helped me. My case was denied last year, June. But I reply and I hear from immigration in December. However, I call them 2023 May and they say my case was looked on since month. How long after you think I have to wait? Thanks advance. Maureen, if you could clarify a little bit your situation. First of all, what kind of case was it and what was the reason for the denial? As I understand from your comment, it has been reopened because they're looking at it again. So if you could clarify that information, I would really appreciate it. I might be able to give you a little bit more information. Please make sure to submit that clarification in a separate comment though. Don't respond to my comment within your comment, because if you do that, and that goes for everyone, if you respond to my comment within your comment, I don't see that notification. So please submit it as a separate comment so that your comment shows up here on this wall. Alright, let's move on further to Monica Pierre. Good evening, sir. My case is at NVC. Priority date is June 19th, 2015. I am in the F11 category. Can you tell me when my case will be current? All right, Monica, let's take a look. So F11 is a subcategory of first priority, first preference category, F1. So let's take a look. F1, it is right now, as of right now, the full process takes is December 2014. So as of June, May 2023, December 2014, people with the priority dates back in December 2014, their priority dates become current. So Monica Pierre is June 2015. That is roughly 6-7 months away. So Monica, you are 6-7 months away from your priority date becoming current and your immigrant visa becoming available. So I'm thinking you might already be documentarily qualified. And if not, your portal, it should be already open. I'm thinking you're already documentarily qualified. But if not, make sure to check out the video that I've made called Documentarily Qualified. Again, I'm going to recommend that video because it's a real example of the real NVC portal that was already documentarily qualified. And everyone who is not documentarily qualified yet can take a look at it and understand exactly what the process of documentarily qualification entails. So you can prepare to it before you even have the full access to the NVC portal. So that once you do have the full access to the portal, you have everything ready, you submit it quick, that's it, done deal, quickly. Alrighty, moving further to King Germain. Hello, sir. Thank you very much for answering my previous questions. Anytime, King. Appreciate your comments and questions. My next question is, how long after documentarily qualified should you expect your immigrant visa interview? I am from Jamaica, F1 category, priority date April 22, 2016, documentarily qualified January 25, 2022. Are they working based on priority date or documentarily qualified? Thank you in advance. King, excellent question. Thank you for asking. So both of the dates are connected. They both are connected and both will help you determine where you are in the process. But the main date that establishes the availability of the immigrant visa will be the priority date. Your priority date is April 2016 and you're in F1, first preference category. So again, visa bulletin F1 right now is showing December 2014. That's graph A, that's the final action dates. And this is applicable to you because the final action that was already taken on your case, which is becoming documentarily qualified. That's what the final action means. So December 2014 and you are April 2016, so you're roughly a year and January, February, March, April, a year and 4 months. Roughly a year and 4 months away from availability of your immigrant visa. Now, if you have not been, and I'm giving this example for everyone else who's watching, if you have not been documentarily qualified yet, and you're still waiting for the NVC portal to open up fully to you, and you want to know when it will be open to you, then you're looking at the graph B, dates for filing. This is the graph that shows when the NVC portal will be open so that you can become documentarily qualified. And the graph A shows when the immigrant visa will become available. So great question, King, appreciate it. Let me make sure I put the response here and we're gonna move on to the next one from Lana. Lana says, thank you so much for your answer. You are awesome. Lana, I'm glad this was helpful. Let's move on to the next one from Bruzy B. Bruzy, I remember I was requesting additional information from you. And here's the information. My preference category is F1 and my priority date is December 4, 2014. Wow, Bruzy, you are right there. You are right there. So you're F1, first priority, and December 2014, 15 December. In fact, Bruzy immigrant visa is already available because he's past this date right here. So Bruzy, I am thinking you definitely should already be documentarily qualified. Literally the only thing that you're waiting for is that interview that is going to be scheduled anytime around the corner. And I mean, it can take a few months, you know. I don't remember where you were from. I think you were in Jamaica, but if you want to, you can actually contact the US Embassy in the country where you will be going through the interview, the US Embassy where you're going to be having your interview, and ask them when the interview is going to be scheduled, because your immigrant visa is definitely should already be available, judging by the visa bulletin. You are literally right there, man. All right, so let's move on to the next one from Mira Ragbeer. Actually, there's a couple of comments from Mira. Hi, I am F3, so third preference category. My mother filed in 2010 August, approval in 2014. How long I will have to wait again? Thanks. And then the second one, hi, my mother filed for us. She's a US citizen, all married since August 2010, and it was approved in 2014, but no word since. It's been 13 years now. Mira, sorry for the crazy wait. Third preference category, it does take quite a long time. Let's take a look at the visa bulletin. Again, we're going to take a look at the graph A to see the full length of of the backlog of how long we have to wait for the availability of the immigrant visa. So F3 right now is showing December 2008, and your mother filed in 2010 in August. So you are roughly 2 years away from the availability of the immigrant visa, because right now the priority dates, they are becoming current as of June 2023, the ones that filed in December 2008, and you're in August 2010. So roughly 2 more years. I know it's a long time, it's ridiculous, but unfortunately that's how it is whenever it comes to family immigration. Unfortunately, we are waiting these crazy times due to the limited availability of the immigrant visas. But you've done most of the waiting already, and you're almost there. Just a couple more years. All right, let's move on to the next one from SL. Hi, do you handle the immigration matter? Please advise. Thanks. SL, thank you for your question. So the only way I handle, stuff with the immigration is through your comments. That's it. I don't provide on the side. I don't try to sell my service or anything like this on this channel. This is not for money. This is not for some kind of benefit for me or advertisement of my kind of business, that's it. I don't do anything else on the side, if that's what you ask. So if you do have any questions, immigration related questions that is, just drop them in the comments. Make sure don't respond to my comment within your comment, submit it as a separate comment. I will see it and I will do my best to address it in one of these videos where I answer immigration related questions. All right, moving further to Sandeep Kapila says, hello, my sister filed Form I-130 with priority date 26 November 2012. How much more time it would take? I'm from India. Okay, Sandeep, so when a sister is, when a sibling is filing for their sibling, US citizen, when they're filing for their sibling, it's only US citizen can file. Permanent resident cannot file for their sibling. So your sister is US citizen. It's a force preference category, and force preference category takes the longest. Now India, they do have their separate chargeability area. So let's take a look at the visa bulletin. And yes, so looks like there is about 2 years India longer, 2 years longer than all other chargeability areas. So September 2005. So people with priority date back in September 2005 are just now, their visas, the immigrant visas are just now becoming available. That is, let's see, September 2005, and right now we are May 2023. That is roughly 18 years. Wait, am I right or am I wrong? My math is horrible and my calculator is nowhere to be found. 15 years, that would be 20. And then plus 3 years, that would be 18 years. So roughly 18 years total the process takes. So it was filed back in 2012. So if it was filed back in 2012, you are looking roughly at another 7 years to wait. So you've done quite a lot of waiting already. There's a little bit more, less than what you've been waiting for, unfortunately. Sorry for, it doesn't give me pleasure to give this information, and I can personally relate because, Sandeep, I have petitioned myself that I'm gonna be waiting for a very long time, another 13 years. So I completely understand. It's not pleasant at all. Unfortunately, that's the way it is set up. That's the way the system is set up. For everyone who is dealing with this backlog and waiting to reunify with their family, I recommend finding other finding other avenues so that you can at least be with your family while you're waiting. And that is, of course, trying to apply for non-immigrant visa solutions, like, for example, a B1, B2 visa, non-immigrant visitor visa, or something along those lines, so that you get at least see your family, and not just be separated all this time. All right, let's move on to the next one from Kita Smith. Hello, I am waiting for my husband interview in Nigeria. We are IR1 category, immediate relative. Our priority date is 15 July 2019, and our documentarily qualification is 26 September 2022. When will my husband get his interview date? I'm American citizen. Okay, Kita, thank you very much for your question. So priority date July 2019 sounds about right. September 22 documentarily qualified. So it has been already, let's see, so roughly about 8 months since you were documentarily qualified. Like I said, I've seen some interviews take as long as 9 months, but your immigrant visa is already definitely available. As soon as it was approved by USCIS, it was already available. So I would recommend calling the embassy in Nigeria, and actually let me give you the website where you can find the information. So it's a US embassy, let's see, there you go, embassy.gov, and we're gonna scroll down to Nigeria, there you go, and let's see how many embassies. Just one embassy in Abuja, I think. That should be it. All right, this is it right here. So there you can find their phone number either on their website, there you go, or it was shown on the previous page as well, right here. Let's see if it's the same number, 4000. 4,000. Yeah, it's the same number. So give them a call. Give them a call, or alternatively, you can actually email them as well. Sometimes they answer email, give you more information. Sometimes over the phone, you get a nice person and they don't have a problem to take a look. Just call them and say, hey, you know, I'm in immediate relative category. The immigrant visa is already available. I have been waiting for the interview for the past 8 months now, and I haven't been scheduled yet. So I was just, you know, wanted to follow up and see when it's going to be scheduled. Don't be too upset if they don't give you any information. It is at their discretion to give you information or not. But like I said, sometimes you do get an understanding person, and they, you know, it's really not hard for them to open up their system, their scheduling system, take a look on when, you know, the next available dates are and roughly when your interview is going to be, and let you know that information. But regardless, you should be somewhere around the corner. And if I may, I'm gonna ask you, please, once the interview is scheduled, once you go through the interview, please come back to this channel and let us all know how it went, because it's nice to get all the questions, comments, you know, with questions, but it is also really nice to get the resolution from people, you know, saying, hey, I finally got it. It's really nice, it's really refreshing. Alrighty, let's move on to the next question coming from Clementine Chambers. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. I had a J1 which expired in December 2022. I applied for a B1, B2 before it expired. Okay, great, perfect. Before it expired, that's awesome. And it's still processing. Yeah, 5 months later. I'm in the United States and I'm unsure what to do, as I would like to leave with the visa so I can come back and visit. I don't want to abandon my case, so can I wait longer than the 6 months if it's still processing? Clementine, yes, excellent question. So definitely, you definitely don't want to abandon it. So whenever it comes to the applying for the extension of a non-immigrant status, if you are leaving the country before it is approved, before the application is approved, before the extension is approved, it is considered abandoned, and you definitely don't want to do that. The bad, I wouldn't necessarily say the bad news, not so good news is that it's only been 5 months, and roughly, I think the last time I checked, let's take a look actually, because I have the processing times, you know, page open here, so let's take a look. It's 539, application to extend change non-immigrant status. From category, let's see from J1, if they do have from J1, change of status to FM student or exchange visitor. 2, no, that's not 2, we need from. Oh, actually there, I think this is going to be, because your change of status to be non-immigrant, that's it, this is what we need. Let's check a few of these and see. Okay, so more than a year in California. Let's take a look in Texas. Wow, this one is like almost 3 years. Potomac, 2 years. Wow. So very, very different dates, as you can see, depending on which service center your application is being processed at. You can see it can take quite a long time. Now, the good news is that once you do get your response, once you do get your, and most of the times, there isn't really, it's a very rare situation when these applications for extensions or change of non-immigrant status, especially to B1, B2 visitor, are denied unless there's some, you know, really serious circumstance. Most of the times they are approved. The good news is that once you're approved, all this time that you have been here in the United States of America, it is considered, your stay here is considered legal, so there's no problem. Not so good news is once you do get the decision, most of the times you really don't have any more time to stay in the United States. So once you get the decision, you either need to leave the country or apply for another status. But I think as of right now, you really don't have many options unless you're doing some other, whether petition or whatever, because you are already past your J1 status, and now you really are, you know, relying on the approval of your I-539 application. So my recommendation is definitely wait for the approval, unless of course there is no way for you to do that. In case if you do leave and your application is considered abandoned, then you might have a little bit harder time getting the immigrant, not the immigrant, sorry, getting another non-immigrant visa to come here, even if it's just a B1, B2 non-immigrant visa. So you might need to be prepared to file a waiver or something like this. So obviously, if you're in no rush to leave the country, the best thing to do as of right now would be to wait for the decision on the application. So thank you everyone for asking your questions. I hope my answers were helpful. If you do have any follow-up questions, don't hesitate to come back and ask them. I will never say that, hey, you're asking too many questions or anything like this. Always appreciate your time. God bless, and I will see you all in the next video.